Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the bronze medal final of the Dubai Sevens Fiji taking on New Zealand. Now, I know a lot of people wanted to see this be the final in Dubai. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen that way, but it's still going to be an absolutely awesome contest between these two sides. Looking through at the Fijian recent fixtures and what they have done throughout Dubai. They had their first game up against the USA, in which they did win 21 points to 14. They beat France comfortably 40 points to 5. But then that game up against Great Britain, they did struggle and they were defeated 24 points to 0. And that game up against Ireland in the quarterfinals, they were up 29 points to 0 at halftime. Whereas Ireland in the second half, they really dug deep, managed to pull it back to 24 points to 29. And then the semi-final just didn't quite go the way that the South Africans, well, either side really would have wanted it to go. But Fiji only getting themselves the one try. South Africa getting the two. They have got their task just around the corner where they will be going head-to-head with Argentina. And that will be in the Dubai Sevens final matchup taking place. But looking through at New Zealand, they were 26 points to 21 victors over the Canadians. They beat Samoa by a narrow margin, getting themselves that last-minute try. Then they were defeated by 2 points by the South Africans. 40 points to 0 against USA in the quarterfinals, and then they were defeated by that same score margin as the last game in the pool stage, 21 points to 19 up against the Argentinians. But in the chat, we have got the Hey Hamish long break you had, says Marnus. It was a little bit of a break. We managed to get 2 previews out in the time in between the matches that were taking place. Also, Hey Hamish from Caspian. And this season's men's series in the Olympics going to be really competitive. Yeah, it is a shame in some regards that they've cut it down to 12 teams, but it does guarantee that there should be a little bit less difference between the top-ranked side and the bottom-ranked side, and that we will have a few more upsets along the way as well. We have got Go Fiji Go, says Maria, and also To Fiji Go, says Amira there. So, of course, anytime these two sides go head-to-head, it is always entertaining. It's physical, it's fast-paced, and it's one of the reasons people love sevens, and hopefully it will be no different in this contest. Just about 2 minutes away from the kickoff. Alongside this game, we are also going to be covering the final that I mentioned that is taking place between Argentina and South Africa, and then also the women's final that is just around the corner, which is New Zealand versus Australia. Tosaviti says Nadro there, and also Simran has said, I honestly don't mind who wins this game. Go Fiji, go New Zealand. And of course, both sides would have loved the chance of getting the gold. Third place playoff game, someone's walking away with just those couple extra points on the overall World Sevens circuit, but at least we know it's going to be an awesome prelim for the main event that is taking place a little bit later on. Some would even call this the main event, of course, with South Africa, Argentina just around the corner. Who do you think will win? I think Fiji will win by 3. I am also of that mindset that Fiji will win by a narrow victory. I think I said it would be 27? Did I go 27? Something around there. 26-14 or something like that. I can't even remember my scores at this point. The starting lineup, though, for the Fijians, it will be Josefa Talathola, the captain, on the field alongside Jeremiah Matana and Sivu Mothanothangi. Felipe Satoranga, Viwa Nadovalo, a man who we haven't actually seen too much of throughout this recent Dubai Sevens. Manueli Mai Samoa and also Tario Tamani. Of course, he had to be somewhere in the starting side after the way that he has been playing recently. Scott Curry, Shea Clark, and Sione Molia, all in the starting side for New Zealand. Akulia Rokali Soa, hopefully he takes less than 30 seconds to take his kicks this time. Leroy Carter, Tupaya Cook-Savage, and Cody Vai, the last man in the starting lineup. We have got there in the chat as well. Who's the winner for this match? I believe Fiji should be able to get themselves the victory, although New Zealand will be mad because they could have gone to golden point time with Argentina, but instead they did allow themselves to get timed out for a kick, which then cost them 2 points, which was the difference between the two sides. Have you managed some sleep? I have not, no. It's pretty much been in between that last live stream and this one. We managed to finish editing 2 videos. I managed to get a little bit of a snack in, pretty much is the best way I've put in it. And then, yeah, just ready to go for these playoff games. Your dad giving you the day off? I believe so. I think I've got the Monday off. Seeing as we're already at 4 a.m., like, worst comes to worst, I may have to work the later afternoon, but more than likely, I think he'll give me the day off, depending on how well New Zealand go in this game, although I don't think he really cares because he is currently sound asleep at the moment. Morning Hamish, I guess, I think I missed a few games, says Tar. You may have, but One thing's for sure, you do not want to miss this one. It is must see when these two sides take to the field. Josefa Talatholo, I'm looking forward to a big performance from him in this contest. New Zealand will be kicking off from right to left, and we are now underway for the last game for these two sides in Dubai for 2023. Akulia Rokalisoa for the Kiwis does put the ball high and travels about 20 metres in the air. Satoranga, it slipped through his fingers, and we need to remember, due to this taking place in the evening, it means that the ball is slipperier. It means that it is going to be a lot harder to be able to hang on to it, and probably a few more knock-ons along the way. Sorry, I missed games. Says Caspian, there's no worries at all. The beauty of Sevens is if you miss a game, there's like 15 more that are taking place afterwards. So yeah, there are going to be weird schedules, little clashes and whatnot, but at the end of the day, anytime you guys pop in, it is always awesome to have you watching these streams. Scott Curry gets it off to Akulia Rokalisoa. Cook Savage to Leroy Carter. Sold the dummy and lured in two of the Fijian defenders. Manually my son Moore making the tackle on Molia. Now Rokalisoa to Tapaya. Cook Savage gets it off to Tim Mickelson, who wasn't actually in the starting lineup, so I think we've been lied to. Cook Savage going across to Akulia Rokalisoa. Leroy Carter has to clean that one up, but still has Molia with him with the skip pass to Cody Vai instead, who is now backing himself to go down the wing. He's tackled by Saturanga and Nodovalo, who tried to get over the ball but doesn't win the penalty. Akulia Rokalisoa now going up to the left-hand side. Cook Savage, little flick pass. Scott Curry didn't expect it. There was a knock-on from a Fijian hand in the tackle, and they will go back now for the scrum. And super hot today at 34 degrees. Says Caspian, so yeah, even if it's not so much the humidity that is a factor for the players, like it's going to be the slipperiness, the sweat on the hands. It almost worked with that little flick pass from Tapaya Cook Savage to Curry. Fiji have won 99 times at the HSBC 7, so if they win this game, that would be their 100th win. That is a massive stat right there. Can they bring up their 100th win against what a lot of people would consider one of their greatest rivals in the Sevens world? Of course, they recently brought up their 100th game up against South Africa. That was actually earlier on. Beautiful pass, although it's travelled just that little bit forward. Who was going to win the final, said Nadro. For me, I think South Africa have the momentum, seeing as they are the undefeated side heading into that final. But if anyone's going to be able to pull off that upset, it would be Argentina. Is it still raining there by you, says Monty Lagrange? I think it's stopped, although I can't really tell, seeing as it's extremely dark outside. But I'll stick my head out the window and let you know next week on the Cape Town Sevens. We have got there. Do you think South Africa will win the final? Says Caspian. I think they've got a good chance. Like, for me, it's about 70-30 in favour of South Africa in terms of the odds for that game. And Fiji be making waves, says Simran there. They were talking about the pool earlier on at the ground, and they said how much random stuff gets put in that pool, yet people still swim in it. For some reason, the waves, I thought of a wave pool. But there was also a man wearing a bikini in the stands, and of course, oh, that's an ugly throw from Leroy Carter. It's going to be offside against New Zealand. Now, 4 minutes remaining in this first half, still 0-0. It could actually be quite a low-scoring game between these two sides. Hopefully, Fiji can bounce back during Cape Town, says Nadro. And the beauty of this Fijian Sevens side is if they have one bad week or even one bad game, they normally are right back on it straight afterwards. We've got to look at that game that happened between Great Britain and Fiji, like 24-0 loss for Fiji. They come back in their next game up against Ireland. First 7 minutes, they score 29 points. But then there were still mistakes, and that ended up costing them in the second half. Now Toria Valawa to throw this ball in for the Fijians. Taking a long time here to get that ball in, and in the end, New Zealand still able to get themselves that line-out steal. Now Leroy Carter on the halfway line tries to pierce through the tackle attempt of Satoranga. Tapaya Cook Savage, Cody Vai knocks it backwards, drops it again. This time he's knocked it on. And Fiji will have themselves the scrum from 40 out. I think this is almost their first attacking chance inside of New Zealand's half. You wonder whether or not it will be their first and maybe their first try of the game. 16 passes New Zealand have made compared to the 3 of Fiji. They have not had the play that they would be wanting. Definitely because in that game up against Ireland, they had about 97% of possession throughout the first half. Currently, they've probably had about 10% in this contest. But now, scrum feed for the Fijians. Ball has been put in. Now to the right-hand side, the bounce pass there, Felipe Satoranga. The wide cut-out pass. Fiji now looking to attack from the halfway line. Manueli Maisa Moi has his legs tied up by Leroy Carter. Vuiviwa. Or Viwa. Nadovalo protects it, but the penalty does go the way of New Zealand. It's only a question, why must I wait until the Cape Town Sevens? Says Mornay Lagrange. Well, because my window is over there. And it's a little way away, so yeah, I could just look at a weather report, to be fair. That's a little bit easier than getting my head outside of the house. Here we go. We got the weather app open. And it says it's dark. But it also says it's foggy. How would you know? It's dark. But 1 minute 30 remaining in this first half. No rain at the moment. That's what it says. Scott Curry, Sione Molia. Now to Tapaya Cook Savage. Ooh, that was almost a tackle in the air by Manuel Maisa. Penalty won by Mothino Thangi. Quick tap taken by Fiji, trying to keep this game rolling. Trying to get that momentum going to Josefa Talafolo. Kicks it downfield. Great bit of control from the big man. It sits up for him. And he will have the pace. And he scores the first try. I mentioned about how Fiji hadn't had many attacking opportunities. And now they've got their first try. Third of the Dubai Sevens for Josefa Talafolo. The captain stepping up big time here. Puts the grubber in behind. Mickelson misread it, and then it was up to the other experienced veteran Curry to try and win the foot race. As soon as Talafolo changed direction, it was all over for Curry. The legs were given out from underneath him. Talafolo strikes for Fiji. Now, kick has gone over from the Fijians, so they will be sitting now 7-0. In their favour with only 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Those ladies were dressed as mermaids. That man is dressed in his SpongeBob PJs. So there's a whole heap of different costumes at the Dubai Sevens, which is normally one of the things that makes Sevens so different to other sports. You see people wearing all sorts of random stuff, but they're all got big smiles on their faces. That was almost a sentence. Roka Lisoa. Ankles taken out from underneath him, and Jeremiah Matana manages to finish the job. And Wuhu Chalo Fiji says Simran Nice says it was there, or Thalo Fiji, I should say, rather than Chalo, or is it Chalo? I know that just C by itself is the, but what is CH? Is that the Thalo? The Thalo? Maybe. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Olympics? I'm excited. There's a lot of Olympics events that were Rockily so he should join the sprinting in the Olympics with pace like that. And New Zealand have struck back just like that. Out of the back line, easy passing, and then Rockily so reaps the rewards after a successful line-out was claimed. It's Cha for Chalo, Fiji Hindi. See, I haven't learnt that as well as Fijian. I feel like I've still got a bit of vocabulary work. Get done. New Zealand are the best at sevens, and New Zealand wasn't the favourite. Says Zing. New Zealand in the overall Dubai Sevens, I think we're about second or so, somewhere around there for the overall rankings. Of course, South Africa, they were considered up there. Fiji were considered up. I think that those three sides that I just mentioned were the top three in terms of favourites. Thank you, Hamish. That a good answer. Are you still the best YouTube commentator? And also we have got there Drew Fozzie says Blues Nate. Let's go Fiji. Says Blues Nate there, but it is 7-all at half-time. Anytime these two sides play, we know it's going to be close. Split by hardly anything is normally the case. And to be honest, New Zealand in the stats say that they should be up by more. They've had 3 visits to the opposition 22. Fiji have only visited the opposition 22 once. They made it, and they got themselves the try. Only 7 passes as well throughout the half. But their tackling's been pretty good. 7 tackles made, only missing the 1. New Zealand only having to make 2 tackles so far throughout this match. Sevens for the World Tour, says Ta. And also Talafolo is a future NBA player, says WMS. I mean, he'd probably do all right, because he's about 6'4" or 6'5" or something like that. Josefa Talafolo always has been one of the more standout players, and not just in terms of standing out because he's taller than everyone else, but just really able to use that pace to his advantage. See, I said they were dressed as mermaids. I think they're actually Avatar. Maybe. It's my bad. Tell I don't watch many movies, can't you? That man's a pirate. Probably Jack Sparrow. Though he's got a mustache and short hair. Captain Hook, no, he got long hair too, doesn't he? Who's a mustached pirate with short hair? The one off SpongeBob? I think he's got short hair, doesn't he? But he's ginger. And that guy had a black mustache. I'm confusing myself. Is it halftime? Yes. Because if it wasn't, I think a lot of people would get annoyed at why I'm talking about mustaches rather than what is happening in the game. Okay, those two men are in their budgie smugglers just jumping around the ground. The AB Sevens are my favourite for Cape Town. Says Nadra, and hello Amish Bro, says Michelle. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Now Torio Vailawa. Going to be kicking this one off high. Waiting for this one to come down to Cook Savage. He was thrown in the air by his underpants, but still wasn't quite able to get the ball. Now Sione Mulia passes off to the right-hand side to Leroy Carter. Dragged down 20 metres from the line. Joseph Dalafolo lurking on this near side. Looks a little bit ginger in the way that he is running. Maybe he got some sort of injury he's nursing, but I know he took a little bit of time off not too long ago. Pirate from the Wiggles. True. Captain Feathersword, I think was his name. Wasn't it? What colour was his hair? I can't even remember. I know he would have short hair. He had that purple sword, didn't he? That he'd wave around. See, that's now called foreplay. Never mind. Is it halftime on Neptune yet? Captain Feathersword doesn't have a mustache, doesn't he? Is it just because he's like shaved recently though? Like surely he grows one occasionally, doesn't he? Hey, anyone knows which city US Sevens this year? Is it LA or is it somewhere else this year? I know it used to be LA, but I'm not sure whether or not. Tell you what, I should probably know this information. So, yep, it's LA again. Hamish Bro, in your city now, 4 a.m. Around local time, if I'm not mistaken. You are correct, almost 4 a.m. here in New Zealand. Wouldn't be too many people out and about. Definitely not because it's dark and also it's foggy, so there's not really much of a reason to be out and about. It's because Anthony the Blue Wiggle would play Captain Feathersword. But what about when they're in the same shot? Because surely they have been before. Like, what happens when they go on tour and they got Captain Feathersword while Anthony's strumming his guitar? Who plays him then? Good question. We are asking the important ones. Nice inside ball from New Zealand. Awkward low tackle made. But Fiji able to slow down this momentum just for now. I think it was Kabu who actually put in the big initial hit. Sione Mulia, pressure being put on him manually. My son Mod trying to get around the referee. New Zealand numbers on this left-hand side to Cook Savage. He's got one more man with him, Cody Vai. He doesn't use him, instead goes on the inside to Tim Mickelson, who now goes to Cody Vai. And he gets it down for New Zealand. And it's another try. For New Zealand, they will now take the lead. His fifth of his career, Cody Vai, and actually his first playing Mr. Brightside, I think it is, in Dubai, by the sounds of it. Now Mickelson, nice pass out wide. It's probably about 2 or 3 of the New Zealanders who could have got themselves the try there and go All Black Sevens, and why Cape Town? Why not Cape Town? Cupcakes? These Blues, don't tell you what, I bloody love cupcakes. Like, if I had to pick, I don't know where my brain was going there. I was going to say if I had to pick between cupcakes or a walk at 4 a.m, I'd pick the cupcakes, but I think everyone would. I mentioned the show when they were first beginning out, each of the Wiggles were Dorothy and Henry the Octopus because they were short-staffed. Says Simran. Then there you go, the more you know. Then they got some money and they decided, hang on, we could put some random bloke in this suit. Now it's loose. New Zealand, 5 metres from the line. They take the ball back. This might be a yellow card here. It is going to be a yellow card. New Zealand in an offside position. In fact, he's played the ball on the ground as well. So Tapaya Cook Savage, he is off the field now for the next 2 minutes. Fiji have the man advantage, and with that miss kick from New Zealand, it could prove crucial in the later stages of this match. Now, I should mention our next live stream, ladies and gents, will be starting in 15-minute time. That is going to be the matchup taking place between Australia and New Zealand in the women's. Okay, it isn't a penalty try because there were players around, is the call from the referee. Who do you think is going to win the Cape Town Sevens? That's a tricky one because it seems obvious to say South Africa, but they don't normally do that well in Cape Town, which sounds weird to say because they're from Cape Town. Favourite cupcake flavour? I don't mind just a vanilla cupcake, to be honest. I'm a bit boring, but good old vanilla cupcake goes a long way. Yeah, I'll probably go with that. I don't think you need to get too fancy with it. Like red velvet and whatnot, I'm always a bit confused about because I'm like, why does it have to be cream cheese? Now off to the left-hand side, manually my some more. He reaches and he gets there. Fiji score another try. This will almost give them the chance of taking the lead. 3 minutes remaining. Player Cook Savage, he will be disappointed to not be on the field here. Could end up costing them big time. Vailawa went off to this left-hand side. Manueli Maisamoa. That's the beauty of this Dubai Sevens pitch as well. If you're close to the line, momentum will help you out and you just get enough of an oomph to be able to get over there. A little bit slipperier this time of night. Does manage to score the try. Any cupcakes and a hot cuppa? Says Blues Nate. Have you ever dipped a cupcake in a hot cuppa, Blues Nate? Because I know people dip weird things in their hot beverages. Yeah, would you dip a cupcake in? Because people dip biscuits, and I guess biscuits and cupcakes ain't hugely different. I pick a South Africa versus Fiji in the final. That'd be quite cool because then I believe that would be the 101st time that those two sides have played. For it to be in a final would be pretty awesome. Cody Vineyard inside of the 22. Fiji also missing their kicks, so currently sitting 12-12 in the overall scoreline here. Cody Vi wrestled down to Mickelson with the pass out to Brady Rush. Didn't have the best game up against Argentina, but he's just beaten two defenders. Here goes Moses Leo with his pace. Didn't get the offload away though. And now Fiji, do they get the turnover? They do not. It's going to be knocked on by New Zealand, the referee says. Fiji wanted to play on, but they will go back. How much time left? Currently 1 minute 20 remaining. Only biscuit, says Blues Nate. And yeah, I dip biscuits. Never thought to dip cupcakes in a hot cuppa, says Simran. And also we have got there New Zealand 17, Fiji 12. Also, you call in a last minute try for the Kiwis here. Because that's the thing, neither of these sides have actually won as of yet. So we've got 1 minute. If it's tied at the end of the full time, we go to golden point. And that would be kind of cool, to be fair. Because both of these sides, I think they deserve to play a little bit more time out there on the field in Dubai. They'll be enjoying it, of course. Being back on the Sevens circuit. Both sides taking part in the Oceania Sevens. That did take place only a few weeks ago. Jam sandwich, says David. Have you tried a peanut butter and jam sandwich, David? Because I know that Americans have peanut butter and jelly. But, like, I don't think I would enjoy a peanut butter and jam sandwich, which is kind of like their jelly, isn't it? I think it would confuse my brain. 40 metres out from the line, New Zealand in the breakdown, and they win the penalty. Now, earlier on, New Zealand did play Samoa, and they were able to defeat them in the final moments by a similar fashion here of being close up until the final moments. I love it, says David there. Oh, I thought that was going to be the penalty to Fiji, but instead it is a penalty to New Zealand, who have 10 seconds now to try and get themselves a last-minute try. There's going to be a cliffhanger or maybe the golden point rule. Out wide, now for the corner. Whangi in the 4, he gets over. New Zealand have done it again. They did it to Samoa, they've done it to Fiji. You do not want to be a Pacific Island team when they play New Zealand because they always seem to score right in the final moments. But Fini Nanganofo has scored the last try. He's a very strong individual. I recall watching the Seven Series since 2008, 2009. Says Nardro there. Cody Vi, the skip pass out wide. And then Fini Nanganofo. You're not going to stop him from that close. He just charged through the defensive effort. And unfortunately, It was actually a couple of the newer players who found themselves out on the wing for Fiji trying to mark up. So that was always going to be a tricky job. Shay Clark gives him a big high five and says, good job, buddy. He's got the Sky Tower on his tricep. Oh, Shay Clark, that is quite the effort. That is going to be the end of this game. 17 points to 12. New Zealand have got themselves the bronze medal. Fiji will finish 4th. But now it's going to be South Africa versus Argentina in the final to determine who will walk away with the gold. Although the match is not taking place as of yet, ladies and gents, we have still got a little bit more time before we get to see that matchup. But first of all, we have got the women's final that is taking place in about 9 minutes' time. We are starting that live stream. And then the next match after that is going to be the men's final that is taking place in 50 minutes' time. We will also be covering that one on the channel. Thanks, mate, says Dar. Thank you very much for being here, mate. And nice New Zealand, says Mikhail. And what is New Zealand always heartbreaking? Or why is New Zealand always breaking someone's heart? Yeah, they're pretty brutal, aren't they? They always wait till the last moment to be able to seal the deal. They've done it multiple times, and they've done it again here in the bronze medal final. Fiji, I'm sure, will be back stronger than ever, though, when they do take to the field next week in Cape Town. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. It has been awesome having you all here for the Dubai Sevens. Still 2 more matches to go, the men's final and the women's final. But I will see you all for the next one.